Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Sip of the Tech Life. Today we're serving a love letter to Japan, Korea, Thailand, and Taiwan. We're going to be exploring the most heartfelt BL dramas that have been released over the last 5 years. Every drama on this list, in no particular order, is a drama within a specific country that I found to be very daring, very heartfelt, very unique, and did an excellent job with storytelling. I also chose particular series that I found to be very complicated, but also had complex characters. But at the end of the day, I think these were all stories that needed to be told, and they were told and gave the way they were supposed to give. Without further ado, let's get started. So first up is Japanese BL dramas. Now, based off the country that's producing a lot of the BL dramas, there are certain elements and things I like from each particular country. So what I like the most about Japanese BLs is their tone. Their tone is a little bit more subtle, it's introspective, and it's emotionally restrained. Oftentimes their storytelling is wrapped around like a bit of quietness, but there's some poeticness to it as well. They focus a lot on like internal struggles and like a gradual relationship development. A lot of their themes are centered around like self-discovery, societal pressure, and unspoken emotions. Often the characteristics between all of their BLs tends to be like a minimalistic storytelling, but they do offer like deep character exploration, and they focus more on emotional connections rather than physical intimacy. Their visual aesthetics are often soft and artistic, so they rely like heavily on cinematography and symbolism. And a lot of their dramas are actually based off mangas, so they take a more of a slow burn approach. First up is Love is Better the Second Time Around. Now, this was actually my favorite BL drama that was released in 2024. And so it's about a journalist who reconnects with his former high school love while working on a magazine column. As they delve into their shared history, old emotions resurface, forcing them to confront unresolved feelings and misunderstandings from their youth. Despite years apart in personal growth, their undeniable chemistry remains, leading them to question whether they should give their love another chance. As they navigate professional pressures and personal insecurities, they must decide if love truly is better the second time around. Now, I absolutely love this because I'm a sucker for love stories that revolves around reconnections, especially when there's like this kind of awkward moment to when they do reconnect, because it makes you more enticed about what actually happened. And I just love happy endings. So check this one out. It's a very good one. Next up is Life, Love on the Line. Now, this one actually had me upset. Even though 4 episodes, it did have me upset, at least probably all 4 episodes, because I felt like this was one of them stories to where it was like one person was really devoted to another person. And it's like the other person was devoted to that person, but only devoted to that person in secret. And as well as how the person that's devoted to another person in secret, they're so consumed by societal pressures that they're willing to do anything without having any regard to how the other person would feel about the decisions that they made. This was actually released in 2020, and it's about a chance encounter between two strangers walking on a white line. It sparks an unexpected friendship that blooms into something deeper. From high school to adulthood, their bond evolves through life's unpredictable twists and turns as they face the challenges of career aspirations, distance, and the realities of growing up. They must decide if their love is strong enough to withstand the test of time. So, rounding out our Japanese BL dramas is My Beautiful Man. This was actually released in 2021, and it was actually one of the first BL dramas that I actually ever watched. I really liked this one because there was a bit of quirkiness about it, as well as this was kind of one of the ones where you didn't really know where exactly the storyline is going to go. So, it's about a socially awkward high school student who harbors an unrequited love for his charismatic and popular classmate. As their worlds unexpectedly collide, admiration turns into obsession, and both struggle with their feelings. Through trials of self acceptance and vulnerability, they discover that true beauty lies in understanding and being understood. Next up is Korean BL dramas. If you are a huge fan of Korean rom-coms, then the Korean BL dramas pretty much follow the same thing and the same tone. So what I like most about the Korean BL dramas is the tone is often polished, it's dramatic, and it's romance driven. There's a lot of lightheartedness in their storytelling, but they balance it with humor and emotional depth. Oftentimes, their series features a mix of workplace, school, and fantasy themes. Their production quality is very high, so whenever you're watching any of their series, it's always visually appealing and their storytelling is well structured. The episodes typically are shorter in length from like around 10 to 15 minutes, and they put a lot of emphasis on slow burn romance with charming and relatable characters. The way they portray a lot of their relationships is more soft and wholesome, as they tend to focus less on explicit themes. First up in our Korean BL series is The Eighth Sense. It was actually released in 2023, and it's about a returning university student struggling with post-military service. The student meets a younger peer who challenges his guarded approach to relationships. Through shared experiences and emotional struggles, they develop a bond that forces them to confront their past wounds and reimagine their future together. Next up is To My Star. It was actually released in 2021, and it's about a charming yet carefree actor unexpectedly moves in with a reserved chef, and their contrasting personalities lead to humorous and heartfelt moments as they navigate the challenges of fame, relationships, and personal insecurities. They learn that love often comes in the most unexpected forms. Rounding out our Korean BL list is Blooming. So I would say Blooming is actually one of the ones to where the theme is very subtle, because this was actually released in 2022, but it's about a university student driven by childhood insecurities about his appearance, enters college determined to become well liked and popular. His plans take an unexpected turn when he meets a classmate who seems to have it all: good looks, intelligence, and a naturally charming personality. As their rivalry grows, so does an unexpected connection that forces them to both confront their perceptions of self worth and acceptance. Through their evolving relationship, they begin to see beyond appearances and discover what it truly means to connect with someone. Next up is Taiwanese BL dramas. Now, Taiwanese BL dramas don't get the same love as the Thai, the Japanese, and the Korean BLs. And I think it's because they bring more of a unique perspective compared to the other three. The tropes are pretty much the same, but theirs differ a lot because they focus more on like realism, emotional depth, and cultural openness. A lot of their relationships tend to be more realistic and more grounded, and they focus a lot on like the real life struggles of being in a relationship. Their narratives are typically more bolder, but they're centered around like identity, acceptance, and family relationships. Their production style gives you more like an indie feel because typically their series do have a lower budget compared to the other countries, but they make sure that they're giving you more high impact with an emphasis on like strong storytelling and a deeper connection with the characters. See Your Love. See Your Love was actually released in 2024, and in an effort to escape his family's expectations, a business heir is sent to Taiwan for negotiations. Shortly after his arrival, he becomes a target, leaving him injured. To aid in his recovery and maintain a low profile, he hires a hearing impaired caregiver. As they spend time together, the two form an unexpected bond, navigating their differences and discovering a deep connection that transcends their initial roles. Next up is Kasiki Dear to Me. Now, this was actually one that I started and stopped at least two times before I decided to start again and finish it all the way through. This one actually didn't go the way I initially thought it was going to go. There were so many twists and turns, as well as there were some unexpected surprises that actually happened in this particular series. But overall, I think this was a really good one as well. This was actually released in 2023, and it's about an exemplary high school student with aspirations of becoming a doctor unexpectedly crossed paths with an injured gangster. Under coercion, the student provides medical assistance and shelters the wounded man. As they coexist, their initial tension gives way to familiarity, and a profound connection develops between them. However, the gangster's tumultuous past looms large, threatening their burgeoning relationship and challenging their future together. Last on this list is number one for you. Now, this one is very underrated, very good. I think it's the only one that's on this list that you may have to go to WeTV to actually find. I don't believe it's available on Viki, on YouTube, any of the streaming platforms that you typically will watch BL dramas. This particular series embodies a lot of what I said when I did my Taiwanese intro, and how their storylines are very distinctive and they differ from the other ones. This one was a prime example of a BL series that was very grounded and very mature. Even though the trope was similar and it started out with them in high school, there's about two other parts that actually go alongside with this. So with this particular storyline and these characters, you do see over time their growth and then their connection with each other. But number one for you was actually released in 2021. Throughout their school years, a diligent student consistently finds himself in second place, overshadowed by a seemingly effortless peer. Frustrated by always being runner-up, he is determined to surpass his rival. Unbeknownst to him, his competitor harbors deep feelings for him, and their academic rivalry masks a complex emotional connection. As they transition from school to adulthood, they must confront their true feelings and the misunderstandings that have long stood between them. Last on this list is the country that produces the most BL dramas compared to any other country, and that's Thailand. Thailand BL dramas are very popular amongst YouTube channels as well as personal blog pages. One of the things that I think that makes them uniquely popular is the chemistry between their leads. If you see two leads in one series, 9 times out of 10, you will possibly see them being paired in future series, but they also create fan service moments around their actors in their BL dramas. And that kind of allows you an opportunity to have a glimpse of what their life is like off screen. So Thai BL dramas are a little bit more playful, they're dramatic, and they're often over the top. They're more expressive and emotionally intense compared to Japanese and Korean BLs. They incorporate humor, friendship dynamics, and sometimes family issues. Their episodes tend to be a little bit longer, but they have elaborate storylines, often including multiple couples, and sometimes the second couple will be better than the first couple. They have a high focus on romantic and physical intimacy compared to the more restrained tones of Japanese and Korean BLs. They have themes of acceptance, social issues, and identity, which are more openly discussed. So first up on this list is The Sign. Now, I can't really put into words how good this series was for me. I felt like this particular series blended a lot of different themes together. There was some folklore, there was fantasy, there was mystery, there was thriller, including romance. And then there also was two different distinctive couples and a love triangle. So The Sign was actually released in 2023, and it's about a man gifted with the ability to foresee significant events in people's lives, joins a specialized investigative unit. There he meets a colleague with whom he shares an inexplicable bond that seems to transcend time. As they work together to solve mysterious cases, they unravel a connection rooted in their past lives. The deeper they dig, the more they realize their fates are intertwined by forces beyond their understanding. Amidst crime solving and supernatural elements, they find themselves drawn to each other in ways neither can deny. So here we have I Told the Sunset About You and I Promise You the Moon. So I put both of these on here because I think it's very important for you to watch how the story began and how the story ended. But if you had to choose between the two, which one I would recommend you watch, I would just recommend you watching I Told the Sunset About You. I felt like that portion was a little bit more heartfelt. It was very memorable compared to like the second one. The second was just a continuation of going into like adulthood. But this one was actually released in 2020 and 2021 respectively. So I Told the Sunset About You is about two childhood friends who were once inseparable, reconnecting their final year of high school after years of estrangement. As they prepare for university entrance exams, old tensions give way to newfound feelings, leading them to explore the complexities of love and identity. Through self-discovery, culture expectations, and personal growth, their friendship takes on a new meaning as they struggle to define their relationship amid societal pressures and their own internal battles. And what picks up is in I Promise You the Moon. is where after high school, the couple faces challenges of university life, evolving identities and long distance struggles. As their ambitions lead them down different paths, they must navigate the pressures of adulthood, expectations from their families, and their own insecurities. Their journey is filled with bittersweet moments as they learn that love requires more than just passion, it demands growth, compromise, and resilience. So another one of my favorites that was released in 2024 was Every You, Every Me. This one was very underrated. I didn't really see too many people talk about this. And if I did see them mention anything about this particular series, it was more like in the honorable mentions of BL dramas that was released in 2024. The one thing that I liked about this particular drama that was different than what you would typically see within a lot of the Thai BL dramas was the fact that it primarily centered around this particular main couple and how their love transcended throughout different lifetimes. Although there were supporting actors a part of the series, it wasn't overwhelming and you didn't really take away from the intention of highlighting emphasis on this particular couple. And so, Every You, Every Me is about two individuals who repeatedly find themselves drawn to each other across different lifetimes, facing new challenges and circumstances each time they meet. Whether as childhood friends, rivals, or strangers brought together by fate, their connection transcends time and space. As they navigate love, heartbreak, and self discovery in each universe, they come to realize that no matter how much things change, their bond remains constant. So, rounding out the Thai BLs is Not Me. So, if you've never seen this one before, I would say first brace yourself because this is not only good, but it's also something that you have to follow through. You have to make sure that you're paying attention, but also the intimacy between these two characters right here on this poster is out of this world when you watch this. So, Not Me was released in 2021, and after his identical twin brother is brutally attacked, a young man assumes his identity to infiltrate his social circle and uncover the truth behind the incident. In doing so, he becomes entangled in a world of rebellion, political activism, and hidden dangers. As he gets closer to his brother's friends, secrets unravel, and he begins to question his own identity and beliefs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you get a chance to watch some of these dramas if you've never seen any of them. But if you have, make sure you put in the comments which ones that you did watch and what you like about them. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And until next time, see you guys.